This recipe is for vegetable pasta bake, and the first thing that I need to do is turn my oven. So I've turned my oven on to 200 degrees, gas mark 6, and I'm going to prepare the vegetables. So you need 2 colours of pepper, if you've got 2 colours of pepper. If not, you can just use 1 colour. It doesn't really matter, but you don't need loads for this recipe. So I have a bit of green and a bit of orange pepper, just a quarter, and you need to just pull the seeds out of the middle of that. The easiest way is to just get hold of the seeds and pull, and these need to be sliced. So it's up to you how large you want the pieces to be. I don't want these pieces to be too big, so you just slice these. Remember, you can use bridge hold and slice between your fingers, or you can go claw grip and keep your fingers out the way. Either way, whichever way you are going to do it, just make sure that you keep your slices of pepper even in size, because we don't want them to burn. And it is slicing for this recipe, not chopping. So I need a little bit of onion. I'm just going to swap boards as I'm at home, because at home I have a separate board for onions and garlic. I know you don't have that at school, so you would do this on your brown chopping board at school, your vegetable chopping board, and just cut your onion and then peel off as many layers as you need to, so that you've got a nice smooth bit of onion. And then again, I've left the root on, same as you would if you were going to chop it, so that it doesn't move. This time, because again I don't want the onion slices to be too big, I'm just going to cut it in the middle, turn it round, and then it is claw grip, keeping your fingers out the way, and I'm just going to slice. Don't want the onion to be too chunky, but we do need the onion to be cut up. So depending on how big your onion is, half or a quarter of an onion, and then some garlic. And again, this is up to you how large a piece of garlic you want. I'm just going to peel this quickly, and then this is going to be crushed. So the onion and garlic are going to be crushed together. Garlic's going to be crushed on the same board as the onion. This is not the same type of garlic crusher as you have at school, but it's the one that I have at home. As long as your garlic is in small pieces, that's fine. And we just want the garlic next to the onion. So onion and garlic, and then the last thing that I've got to do vegetable wise is a tomato. And again, tomato is just to be sliced. So across the top and through into slices, and you need to put just 1 or 2 of these aside for the top, and the rest can go in with your other vegetables. And then we need to grate the cheese. Please remember, largest size of your grater. Having prepared all my ingredients, I'm now going to start the cooking. So in a foil dish at school, I don't have any foil dishes at home, so I'm just using a small oven-proof dish. So I'm putting my garlic, my onions, my peppers, and the bits of tomato that I don't want for the top of my pasta dish into there. I need to drizzle over a little bit of oil. It says a tablespoon of oil on your recipe. If you don't want to use a full tablespoon of oil, that's fine. A little bit of oil in there. We need some oil in there because these are going to be roasted in the oven. And then a tiny bit of seasoning. So a tiny little bit of salt. And I'm going to put some black pepper in there as well. So I'm just going to stir those up really quickly, just so that they're a little bit coated in the oil. And then those are going onto a baking tray. Please remember to put your dish on a baking tray. At school you'll be able to get 2 of these dishes on a baking tray, and that goes into the oven for 20 minutes roughly, until your veg is starting to go soft and they've started to brown. So as we're roasting them, we really want the top of the veg to be browned. While they're in the oven, I'm going to tidy up my chopping boards that I've finished with, and I'm just going to put my pasta on to cook. So pasta into a saucepan of boiling water. Get your water to a rolling boil first, and then depending on the shape of pasta that you've got, you cook it for 8 to 10 minutes. Remember to turn your pasta down. Keep an eye on it. Once you put the pasta into the boiling water, remember to keep an eye on it, turn it down once it comes up to the boil, and time it. We don't want your pasta to be overcooked. Okay, when your pasta is cooked, remember to put your colander in the sink so that you have both hands free to pour your pasta and the water into the colander. So colander in the sink, drain your pasta. The vegetables, remember to use your oven gloves when you're getting them out of the oven. We just want them to be lightly browned, and you can see they've gone down quite a bit because they are cooked. So I'm going to put my pasta back in the saucepan where I've drained it, simply because it makes it easier to mix everything else together. So in with the pasta, I'm going to put 100 grams of chopped tin tomatoes. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of water. I don't want too much water in here, but a little bit of water would be good just to slake that off a bit. And I'm using some oregano. You don't have to put herbs in if you don't want to, but I like a few herbs in with the tomato. So I'm just going to mix that up together so that the pasta is coated in the tomato, and then that needs to go and be mixed up with the vegetables. Because my dish is not a huge one, I'm actually going to put my vegetables into my pasta. If you are using one of the foil dishes from school, they're bigger than that dish that I've got, so you could quite easily stir your pasta and tomato into that dish, and then everything goes back into there. So the cooked pasta and the vegetables, the tomato, all of your ingredients are in there, apart from your grated cheese and a couple of slices of tomato that you saved for the top. So I'm just going to move this down a little bit. All I need to do is sprinkle the cheese on the top of here so that I've coated this, help stop any pasta that's on the top from drying out. So cheese on the top, and then I just kept a couple of slices of tomato to just decorate the top of that. And again, using your oven gloves because this dish is hot. This is going back into the oven just for another 10 minutes to heat through until the cheese is browned. Cheese is melted, browned if you wanted, and the tomato on the top has started to cook. Okay, after 10 minutes in the oven, the cheese has melted, the tomato has started to cook, and you can see it's a little bit brown on the top. So 10 minutes in the oven just to melt the cheese and brown things off, and your vegetable pasta bake is complete.